So sorry about earlier. That was completely 100% my fault. Uh, yeah, like I said, my fault, my bad. Completely did not realize I forgot to hit the transition button. That's 100% on me. But I want to show you guys what I did do as far as this commission job. Again, first one, so go easy on me. I think we did okay. This is the two things she specifically asked for was number one, blonde hair, and this royal purple cloak, which I think both turned out pretty decent. The one thing I really like about how this cloak turned out is you can see the highlights, you can see the high spots, you can see the low spots. I think going over this with that Gene Stealer purple and then throwing Magus purple over it really made a difference. Then Nuln oil to kind of, again, show those shadows. The hair, we started with Everland Sunset, which is kind of a basic yellow. And then what we did to give it that darker color was that's not the right color. We hit it with a contrast of Nazdrag yellow. And I noticed first off the Nazdrag yellow kind of made it a little too dark, so what I did is just dry brushed a little bit more of Everland Sunset over that to make it look nice. Then the one part I'm really happy with is this, I guess you call it like an ethereal spell or whatever. I think this turned out really cool. So I may have gone a little heavy on the Null Oil, so, you know, live and learn. But for a first time commission paint job, I think we did okay. For those of you who just tuned in, thank you so very much for tuning in. I do sincerely apologize about earlier. That was 100% my fault. This is the commission job I do. I'm my very first commission job I'm doing. It's a D&D character. She didn't give me a name, but again, as I said before, the two big things she asked for was number one, blonde hair, royal purple cloak. I'm a little torn when it comes to the basing. As you can see, what I did is I've already painted the base with this is called Gorther Brown. But what I'm tempted to do is take a texture paint and do these lower parts here just to kind of match the height. The only problem is with texture paint, once it's there, it's a real pain to get rid of and it's super, super thick. So I'm debating. I think what we're going to do for now, though, is we're going to set her to the side. We're gonna let her, sit on that one for a little bit. So we're gonna set her to the side. I'm gonna send some pictures to my buddy Richard, who again I mentioned earlier. Get his thoughts. See what he says. So while we're doing that, we're gonna paint up some Plague Marines, like my buddy here. This guy is obviously already done, but you can see, as I was mentioning earlier on the stream that nobody could see, these guys are larger. You can see the size difference by far. But even the thickness of base, you can see the difference. But the one thing that I really, really, really love about GW minis is the detail. You can really see just all the intricate detail that goes into these. They do really stand out, and it makes them a real joy to paint. So that said, we're gonna plop him to the side. We're gonna start a new one. Let's go ahead. I've got a few who are already primed here. This is Gracier. For those who aren't familiar with contrast paints, there's a Wraithbone and Gracier. They're the two suggested primers for working with contrast paints, just because they tend to work a little bit better. They're not a must, at least not in my opinion, but they do help. They help bring out the color. So bear that in mind if you do decide to use contrast paints. That a Gracier primer or a Wraithbone primer, both available from GW, will help you out, but they're not necessarily a must-have. Again, as I was saying, well, as I stated before in the stream that nobody could see, experimentation is key. The more you experiment, the more you're going to learn, the more fun you're going to have, the more techniques you're going to discover. So bear that in mind. So for him, because his base is so large in comparison to our D&D figure, I'm going to use my holder. For those of you who don't have one of these, you don't have to get one from Citadel. You can, honestly, my very first one I made out of an old pill bottle. I literally just put some thumbtack on the top and used it to hold my stuff, but it really is a lifesaver. It allows you to it allows you to hold onto the bottle without touching the paint job while it's still wet. It's really, for those of you who are beginning in the painting, it's a must-have. It really is a must-have. So we're going to put this guy in here. We're going to adjust the paint height, or just our camera height, so we can actually see the poor guy. And that's about where we want to be. So we're going to tighten that down. Okay, yeah, he's looking good. So again, GW, a lot of GW models have a lot of detail. That's okay, we like that. I think what we're going to do is, starting with this guy, I think we're going to start with the Death Guard green, which is the majority of his armor. So let's start there. Let's go ahead, reach into my box of paints, because frankly, one of the big investments you can make early on that I would strongly suggest is a paint organizer. And you don't have to buy one; you can make one. There's tons of videos online on how to do it. I actually really need to do it, especially if you have a large collection. I strongly suggest building one over buying one, because you can, number one, you can make it to the size dimensions you need, but it's going to save you a lot of money in the long run. So I need desperately to do that, but me, lazy. So I use a box for now. But we're just gonna, the nice thing about doing the big parts here is, even though I'm using a smaller brush, because I really, again with miniatures, I prefer the smaller, finer brushes for detail work and just work in general. The nice thing is when you're starting the primary colors, especially starting off, you can be as messy as you need to be. So say he's got this tentacle here. If I were to get Death Guard Arena on the tentacle, okay, no big deal. You paint over it, no harm, no foul. Nobody's gonna know. So, like I said, just starting. I like to paint in sections. I like to start with certain sections in color. So we're going to start with the main parts of his armor that are going to be painted Death Guard green. And again, we can be messy here because we just started. There's, other than primer, this is the only color on here. And that's perfectly fine. So be messy, make adjustments. Now is the time. Now, if we say, if I have this whole leg painted and I start doing the gold trim, that's not the time to be messy, because everybody's going to notice that. So again, just kind of dabbing it in, making my work here, working my way down his leg, working on the leg, and even with a base paint, which is relatively thick, you may have to go over it a couple times, and that's fine if you do. One of the big lessons I've learned as far as painting miniatures is, when it comes to putting paint on your brush, less is more. It really is. If you have to go back and get more paint frequently, I would much prefer that over having thick globs of paint that just stick and hide all the detail. So again, light work, light work. Just very easy with it. we're gonna get it's kind of, well, you guys can see it. It's this little piece hanging down here. I don't know what to call that. Go ahead and paint that. Nice Death Guard green. And we're going to get the details as we go. So paint that in. That looks good. We're going to get the side here. Yes. Go ahead and get the side here. Yeah, that looks good. So we're going to want to get the opposite side. The shadows kind of hide it. But again, thoroughness is muy importante. You don't have to be a perfectionist. As a matter of fact, I strongly discourage it because you'll burn yourself out. But thorough is good. The little details are really what can really, for lack of a better word, like sell a model, make it look good, make it, stand out, make your army stand out. But at the same time, you got to kind of balance it, because you have to understand, most people, when looking at your army, or even a particular model, they're probably going to be like at arm's length away when they're looking at it on the table. So the very fine details, like if you accidentally got a little bit of Death Guard green over an area that's supposed to be pink or purple or whatever, 99% of the time they're not going to notice. And even if they do notice, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to judge you for it, because they're probably painters themselves. And they know it happens. We're not trying to be the next Golden Demon Award winner. We're just here to have fun. So, always bear that in mind. And I said this before the stream was actually streaming, but one of the best pieces of advice I got from he's a pretty well-known streamer now. When I very first got into painting, I was a lurker, like majorly. But one piece of advice he would give out that I really, really appreciate and stuck to, and still to this day wholeheartedly believe, is every time you pick up that brush, you are getting better. Whether you know it or not, you're getting better. Whether you feel it or not, you are getting better. And really, practice does indeed make perfect, especially when it comes to painting. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do kind of like this. It's kind of hard to see, but it's like a canister. It's like a canister right here. So we're again gonna paint it the same Death Guard green. And then we're gonna work on the chess piece.
The boxes of recycles in the dining room. Yeah. And throw them in the back of the van, and we'll.
So yeah, we're gonna get this here. That looks good.
Okay.
That looks good. And then again, next stream, I think I'm gonna. Well, number one, I'm gonna remember to actually hit frickin' transition so it goes through right. Again, sorry about that. Also, we're going to. I think next time we're gonna angle the camera so it's like right, essentially over my shoulder, so you're kind of seeing what I'm seeing. I think that'll work better, but live and learn. So we're gonna keep at it. Just keep dabbing the paint here. And as I said before, less is more when it comes to paint on your brush. Especially when you're working with really detailed models like GWs. You don't want to lose all that detail. And so we're gonna paint inside here. I know it's kind of hard to see, I apologize. So we're gonna do this quick. But I'm just kind of getting inside here on this little collar area on the back of his neck. So we're gonna pop Put that in. And we've got, I think, well, aside from his arms, I think we've got most of the armor done. We've also got to do the backpack in a Death Guard green. But we're speeding along here. He's looking good. So we're going to start with the arms. And I want to try to avoid this little hose here. Yeah, I want to try to avoid the hose because we are going to paint that a different color. I want to avoid it's kind of hard to see, kind of hard to avoid too. It's the handle of his bolt gun. So again, big meaty fingers, I apologize. So, alright, so we're going to get this arm here. Yeah, we're going to just get this arm here. There we go. Get that looking proper. And these little bands he's got used, it's kind of hard to see when they're painted Death Guard green. But where he's got little bands like holding his wrist armor together. We're going to paint those a different color to make them stand out. But again, we're doing the body armor, so working messy is okay. We're just going to repaint over it and nobody's going to be the wiser. Alright. Let's go ahead. I think the backpack is the only other major green spot left. So let's go ahead and work on that. So we're gonna go ahead and get the green back here. And again, it's the backpack's pretty large in comparison to the rest of the model. So work messy. Little details here and there, we'll cover them up, we'll adjust, we'll paint them different colors accordingly. So I'm not super worried about neat perfection just yet. We're gonna start a little sloppy, but you can see like the finer details here. Like, here it's like a little wind turbine, I guess, on the back of his jetpack, and then like the hose and stuff. We're gonna paint those a different color. But again, paint over it. Don't bother trying to avoid it for now, because nobody's gonna know the difference. And then, yeah. The other really nice thing about using a paint handle is it allows you to kind of hold things at different angles without actually touching the paint job. Sorry, one of my kittens is dying for attention. What are you doing, Gumball? Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing? You gonna help Dad paint? You gonna help me paint, little buddy? Says no, I'm just gonna play with all the cables on the floor. I ain't gonna play with all my cables. You little weirdo. Yeah, if you can hear him, he's literally climbing up the back of my chair as I try to paint. Because, yeah. I've grown up with cats my whole life, and I love them to death. I truly do. But those of you who have pets, especially cats, you know what I'm talking about when I say this. They have a way of, they have a sixth sense of knowing, when you're busy doing something and you can least afford interruption, and they specifically choose that time to come bug you. And it's okay, because I love him. He's a good little guy. We're gonna fix this up, get his head, or his helmet. And again, you can see like a split in his helmet where, there's gonna be a flesh. Later on there's gonna be a flesh color. But again, we're not worried about paint. We can paint over it, is what I'm saying. We don't have to worry about, oh god, we got, color where it shouldn't be. Not just yet. Not at that point. So, work messy while you can. getting the... You know, I've always wondered, and maybe somebody can answer this. Is he's like... I mean, he's not a jetpack trooper, obviously, but he's got like these little extensions on his backpack. What are those for? If somebody in chat could tell me, or somebody who's watching this could give me any inkling of an idea as to what the heck those are for, I'd appreciate it. I don't know, man. And I know a pretty fair bit of 40k lore, but admittedly, I'm not like a lore guru like some people are. So, yeah, if anybody has any ideas and knows, please enlighten me. But, yeah. We're going to continue to just kind of look for the spots we missed. Anything we didn't get the first time. We're going to cover it up. Not a big deal. Again, when painting, do not look for perfection because frankly you'll never reach it. And if you do continually aim and miss perfection, you're probably going to get pissed at yourself and just say, forget this and quit. So yeah, don't do that to yourself. So I think we got the green pretty darn good. I think we got the Death Guard green pretty good. So, like I said, I like to do sections. I think our next section is going to be... what do we want to do? I think we're going to do the, like the gun barrel and the teeth of the chain sword, or chain bayonet here. And like the chains back here. I think we're going to do those... like a dark Iron Warrior, like an Iron Warrior's metal. I think, yeah, Iron Warrior metal. Here we go. I think it looks a lot better, personally, than a lead belcher for metals like these, where the Death Guard are meant to look gross. You know, they're meant to be gross. They're meant to be dark. They're meant to be grim. So I think the using even just slightly darker colors kind of helps to convey that. You know, these guys are evil, they're gross, they're morose, they're all, you know, all the bad stuff. So we're going to get the chains here on the booty. And we're gonna get these kind of little sections here where it's like, it should be a different color, it's like on the back of his... on the back of his leg. Anybody who's painted like Space Marines or Plague Marines, you know what I'm talking about. You know, little gaps in the armor that should be different colors. These little bands holding his one gauntlet together. We're going to paint those. The dark iron warriors. Yeah, and you can already see the contrast there, and I think it makes a difference. And then the knife on his side. I'm tempted to paint it, but I think we're going to go for a different color for that. For his backpack, we're going to just paint like so. We're going to get this little wind turbine thing. You know, that's meant to be metal. Anything that's meant to be metal, we're just going to go ahead and get it. Yeah, that's alright. And I apologize if the resolution is not the best. I am going to work on that. I am also, after this stream is over, I'm going to I'm going to upload pictures of everything we paint here today, including our first commission paint job. So, if you can't see that well, not to worry. We will fix it. We will fix it. I will get you proper shots of the end product. And then, just a heads up to those who, all my 40k buddies who, or those who like to watch the 40k reports, or the game reports. we will probably not be doing a 40K report this Saturday or Friday. Those are usually going to be our main days, though, for doing game reports, just because life, jobs, yada yada. But even though we won't be doing a report, I will be taking frequent pictures of everything going on. So just wanted to let you guys know. So it won't be. We'll still upload material, just not quite as much material as normal. As far as that goes, I have some buddies who are coming over, but they've said that they want to learn to play. They're dying to learn to play. They would prefer to not be on stream, and that's okay. And if you're in the Southern California Redlands area, if you want to learn to play 40K or Armada or any other major game, even if it's one we don't play right now, if you want to learn or learn with us, shoot us a message. Let us know. We need good people on the stream. And even if you don't want to be on the stream, if you just want to learn, you just want to learn and not be on the stream, that's cool too. Let us know. We would love to have you. We just barely started the stream, the WOG Studios, but my first priority with WOG Studios is I want it to be something fun and welcoming for everybody. I want it to be an intro into the hobbying world for a lot of people. I know a lot of people get like a bad taste in their mouth from, I guess you could call them gatekeepers, sorry, I'm looking for the correct paint here. I guess you could call them gatekeepers who, kind of try to keep others out, or, they make fun of the new guy for not knowing every little fine detail. I don't like that. I don't think that's right. I don't support that. So I want this stream to be the polar opposite of that. I want to welcome people to the stream. I want to welcome people to the games. I want, if there's something you don't know, let us know. Hopefully we can teach it to you. And even if we don't know, we can find out for you. We can learn together. Worst case scenario. So yeah. If you have questions about certain rules in certain games, or even painting techniques or what have you, let us know. Worst we can do is say, sorry, we don't know. Doesn't hurt to ask. So I think I went with Grey Knight Steel for that blade. I don't know. That's a little bright. I don't know. Well, let's try it on this bolter and see what we think. Yeah, let's try it on the bolter. Yeah, I don't know. That looks pretty decent, right? Kind of hard to see. I'm gonna get I don't know. We may have to come back to that part. We may have to paint this bolter as a different color. I don't know. Grey Knight Steel is a little bright. And in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, there is no place for bright. Alright. Now I want to do these hoses, but we need like a gray. And I think I just found, no. Is this it? Here we go. This is a certain part gray that I really love using. It's called Uthwin Gray, and I'll show it to you. This is a layer paint, so it's a little bit thinner than it's a little bit thinner than a base, but it's obviously not a wash. Normally you would put this over a base paint. That's generally the nature of layer paints, but personally I don't quite adhere to that. I see no problem in like putting a layer paint straight over a base or a primer. I see nothing wrong with it. You may have to put on an extra layer or two to make it stand out, but that's okay. Do what you got to do. So we're gonna get the finer details. There's just little spots here, like it looks like pistons on these extensions on his backpack. So we're gonna paint that. We're gonna get these hoses back here. Yeah, we're gonna get these just little things. And before you could afford to be messy, now you want to tighten it up a little bit. You don't want to just slap it on if you can avoid it. So, I think we're good there. I think next section is actually going to be this fleshy shoulder pad here. Yeah, I think that's going to be next. What color are we going to do? You know what? This guy is primed in a gray sear, which is made specifically for dealing with contrast paints. So, I think we're going to use a contrast paint on it. I just need to find the right one. This is, again, where having a paint organizer would be so great. But again, I never learned my lesson the first time around. So I think what we're going to do for this shoulder pads is very fleshy. Is we're going to start with a contrast of Gilliman flesh. And I'll show you as we go how this looks. We want to avoid this top part here and just get the main part of the shoulder piece. And this part we're going to do in layers. We're going to start very light because this stuff is when you stack it on, you start to notice the difference pretty quick. Like you can already on the stream see it's that gray in comparison to that flesh color. This stuff, when you stack it on, it adds up quick and it gets darker and darker and darker, and before you know it, it's like it doesn't even look like flesh anymore. So you got to be careful with it. It's a great paint, but once again, less is more. And he's got, looks like tiny little eyes on that shoulder pad, which being Death Guard wouldn't surprise me at all. So I think we're going to paint those. We're just going to put like a little bit of Averland Sunset right on the tip of the brush. Paint those beady little eyes. Especially, I know a lot of people, especially starting out, have trouble with like the eyes, or like the eye, I guess you call them like the eye slits here on the helmets for like Space Marines or Chaos Space Marine. These are different models. And again, with paint, doing those less is more. But on top of that, just practice. Practice. The more you do it, the better you get, and the faster you'll get there. So I was... You know, we did the... I don't think this Ulthuan gray is quite dark enough. It's not standing out. Well, it's standing out too much. I think we need something darker. If I can find something darker. Is this it? Is this it? This is it? We're going to do Administratum couple shades darker. And this is, again, a layer paint, so you might have to put a couple more coats on than normal. That's okay. As long as you get the look you're going for. You know, just be patient with it. Light coats. Don't gunk up all that detail. And I have my cat trying desperately to get into my lap. Come on, are you trying to say hi to everybody on the stream? Are you trying to say hi to everybody? Sorry about that. This is a painting stream, not a Love on Gumball stream. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. It's kind of hard to see in the. A little bit harder to see in the at least on my monitor. It's a little bit harder to see a difference, but it'll work. Next, I'm thinking let's get the trim and some of the brass parts. For that, we are going to use Rune Lord brass. So I'm going to give this a shake. This is a base, but it's a relatively, well, no. This is a base, but it's got a lot of like metal flakes in it. So give it a good shake, get it good mixed. Or else it's going to look weird. So I'm just going to put this here for his bullets. This is gigantorous bolt gun. And then he's got a symbol of the fly on his kneecap. So we're going to paint that in. Yeah, that's perfect. And I think we're going to do some of the trim in this yes. In this same Rune Lord brass. So once again, just on this leg, we're doing a little bit of the trim. Makes him stand a little bit better. I don't know what this piece down here is, but we're gonna do that next. We're gonna do the trim on it, and then we're gonna get these little rivets. Yeah, it looks good. There we go. That looks great. And this is actually the color we're going to use for his knife. Yeah, we're going to use this color for his knife. Yes. There we go. That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. So we're going to finish his knife here. That looks nice. That looks nice indeed. And it kind of blends in a little bit, but we'll take care of that. So we're, oh yes, we need to get the trim on this shoulder pad. go ahead and do that. Just, yeah. I said it before, I'll say it again. Less is more with paint on your brush. And I think we're going to experiment. These hoses on the back, we're going to try a little bit. The Rune Lord brass. Yeah, that looks nice. Go ahead and make adjustments here. That looks good. I like that. I like that a lot. Then I think we're gonna do. Oh yes. We're gonna do this symbol right here on the top. The symbol of Nurgle, who, by the way, is the greatest of all the Chaos Gods. This is fact. Just fact, throwing it out there. You know. Because it's the truth, and yeah, I don't care what any of the other Chaos players say. He's the best. Period. Nothing around it. So we're gonna paint that. Yeah, it looks good. It's looking good. I'm trying to see. I'm giving him a once over, seeing what other sections we should work on next. I think we're gonna start with these. He's got tentacles. It looks like growing out of him. So we're gonna hit those next. We're gonna go ahead and get those tentacles, and I think we're gonna use Screamer Pink for these to make it pop a little bit. He's got a lot of dull colors, for lack of a better word, on him right now. So I think something like a Screamer Pink will kind of add some much needed color, or brighter, louder colors. Yeah, that looks nice already. There we go. You can see the difference there already. Adding that did kind of makes it stand out better, at least in my opinion. So we're gonna do this other tentacle right here on his foot. Yeah, get that one. Sorry if you can hear that. It's one of my other cats demanding attention. This time it's Rascal. Oh shoot. Sorry. One of the cats stepped on a cord and I lost my feed for a second. At least my monitor. So I'm sure you guys could see, but I couldn't for a split second there. Alright. Really? What, move your butt. Sorry about that. That's Rascal. Alright. now she's got to drink my paint water. So looking at the tongue's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna put him right here for a second. I think that's all the Screamer pink we need. She's sitting like right on the edge of the camera, just staring at me like, come on, play with me. So, making some pretty good progress, I think. I think we're gonna do his belt. No, we got another tentacle. Let's finish those tentacles. Yeah, he's got another tentacle here. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that. Yeah, just there we go. And cat on the table. Again, my apologies. If you've seen the streams, you've seen the little cardboard border I put up around the table with the hopes of keeping them off. Well, yeah. The Great Wall of cardboard did not exactly work as planned. I think what we're going to do... He's got like a little bit of a cloak, like a cloak or a piece of cloth here, so we're going to paint that next. I think we're going to go with... What are we going to go with? I think we're going to go with our Gene Stealer purple. Oosh. Yeah, I think we're going to go with a little bit of Gene Stealer. So just put a little bit right on the tip of the brush. We're just getting there in that crevice. And sorry, cat in the way. I love you, sweetie. I do. I love you, Rashkosh. I am in the middle of a stream. So you can kind of, well, it's a little dark, but you can see the Gene Stealer purple there. We're gonna get the back of the cloak, which is a little bit tricky because he's got these chains hanging. We're gonna get in there, get that. There we go, perfect. Alright, make adjustments here. There's one tiny little tentacle here, so I gotta paint it just really quick. Alright. I think there's only 2 major spots left, and then we're gonna work on touch-ups. So let's go ahead and do this face shoulder pad. We're gonna throw down some, not that. We're gonna try Dark Oath Flesh. This is a little bit darker than Gilliman Flesh. It's I want it to stand out from the other side. Is the reason I'm using it, not Gilliman. But again, a little goes a long way with this stuff. Light layers is the key. I'm a little heavy on that one, but that's okay. That looks nice. Looks good. Looks good. Alright. So for he's got like a horn coming out of the shoulder. I think for that we're gonna paint a skeleton horde. Just give it that dirty bone look. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but just a heads up to those of you who like to watch our battle reports or, tabletop game battle reports. We might have a battle report for you this Saturday, but I cannot guarantee anything. We have somebody who's coming over. He's very eager to get in a game. He's made it clear he would prefer not to be on the stream, and that's totally okay. So, again, we'll work with that. But I'm definitely going to take pictures throughout the game. We'll leave pictures of the opponents themselves out. But we'll take pictures of the models. I'll put it up on Instagram. We'll put it on the WOG Facebook, and so please stay tuned for that if that interests you. We're gonna go ahead. I think we're gonna do Skeleton Horde for these pouches on his belt here. I found it does a really good job. Skeleton Horde does a really good job of painting like both like dirty bones, but also leather. And then we got another tentacle that I didn't see. So we're going to paint that, and then we're going to paint this emblem right here. And then we're going to get his face. Or this split in his face. So we're almost done with him. He's getting there. But I am so super excited. We're going to be doing our first painting stream. I mentioned it before. It might have been before the bloody stream was actually, streaming. Because again, my fault. But I've been painting a lot longer than I have been playing, and painting models was what really first got me interested. And there are a lot of people in the hobby that's all they do is they just paint the models they think are cool. And if that's you, if that's your thing, that's totally fine. That's totally cool. More power to you. As long as you're having fun and you're enjoying yourself, that's what's important. So, if you ever get those gatekeeper types who try to tell you, you're not playing it right, you're not doing this right, you're not whatever, just tell them to buzz off. It's your hobby. Do it your way. So, he's looking pretty good. No, we got a little bit of a missed tentacle. Again, I swear this guy, he's got like tentacles on him, as you can see, but they're not all super prominent. So, you look over and it's like, oh, I missed this, I missed that, I missed whatever. So, and if you miss stuff, well, welcome to being human. So yeah, he's looking pretty decent. I think what we're gonna do is there's a little bit on the back of his shoulder here that could use some Runelord brass. And then there is this split in his face in his helmet that I want to paint fleshy colors. So, and then I think he'll be ready for a wash, I think. Don't quote me on that just yet. I'm far from a perfectionist, especially when it comes to hitting Death Guard, but it's the little details that make it or break it, in my opinion, a lot of times, and I get so caught up in the little details sometimes that sometimes you feel like it has to be just right, and if it's not just right, you're gonna lose your mind. pretty decent. I think we're gonna paint this the body of this. I guess it's like a chain bayonet. We're gonna paint this Runelord brass just so it fits better thematically. It just, I don't know. I think that granite steel is just a little too light of a metal color, and it's a little too flashy for Death Guard. Death Guard aren't into the flashy. They're not into appearances, I guess is the right way to put it. So we're gonna do this fleshy bit here on his helmet. And then I think we'll be ready for washes. So let's go ahead. I think what we're gonna do is we've already hit that with Death Guard green. I think what we're gonna do is take a base coat of Wraith Bone first. And again, less is more. Just very tip of your brush. Get it in that crevice where the helmet splits, and just lightly add it in. One of the rules of thumb that I probably mentioned before, but I will mention again, is when it comes to the detail work and really making your stuff look good, just remember 9 times out of 10, nobody's gonna like pull out a magnifying glass and check all your details. That's just not how it is. You know, if the general rule of thumb is hold it out at arm's length. If it looks good at that length, it's going to look good on the tabletop. That's the general rule. So bear that in mind. You know, just bear that in mind. And then I think he's ready for a wash. But before we do that, I want to add just something to this visor here. Just to kind of make it stand out more, I think what we're going to do, yes, is Warpstone Glow. This will make it pop out a little bit. If I can get the darn thing open. Jeez. There we are. Yeah, this is a nice green. Death Guard is all about the green. Yeah, you can see what we did to his eye sockets there. That looks pretty good. And then I think our friend here. Oh, no. We got this little bit of venom or something dripping here. Let's get that. We're going to do the same color. Make it stand out. Yeah. So yeah, you can see that there. I think what we're going to do now is just give that a brief couple seconds to dry. And while we wait for it to dry, I'm going to take my Null Oil and just give it a good shake. This stuff holds together pretty well, but, you know, good rule of thumb, just shake it. Oh, I needed that drink. Okay. I think what we're going to do, just hit this guy with some Null Oil, and I think you'll pretty much be done. We can, again, I do apologize, you know, we streamed for like an hour and a half, 2 hours with no visual, because logic, you know, and I wish I could stay longer to make up for that today, but essentially I can't. I have prior engagements. So, once again, my apologies. We're very early into this streaming thing, so, you know, stuff's going to happen. I understand that. I certainly hope you understand that. For those of you who are watching, again, your attendance and participation is greatly appreciated. So, we're gonna take the known oil. We're gonna use. I'm gonna use a different brush. This brush has seen better days. I'll show you the tip. Yeah, as you can see, it's seen way better days. But it makes for a good wash brush. So even after a while, you're gonna have those crappy brushes that the bristles are all over the place. Don't necessarily feel like you have to get rid of them. They have their uses. You don't have to hoard them by any means. In fact, I would suggest you don't, because they start taking up space pretty quick. But just one or two frayed brushes. Hold on to them. One or two. Just hold on to them. You'll find a use for them. I guarantee it. It's kind of funny. One thing I really learned about this hobby is people are at least in this hobby, are very, very good at MacGyvering stuff when need be. It's amazing to see like some of the rigs people have built to get like better camera shots, or the different painting combinations they found by just mixing and experimenting, the different terrain they've built just out of random pieces of scrap they've had from cardboard and toothpicks and some glue. It's crazy, but it's so cool to see what they managed to pull out. So, yeah. I think, other than basing, I think our homeboy here is done. And again, I want to thank you all for watching, joining. This stream and all the others will be on Facebook, on YouTube, and I will put up pictures later on Instagram of both this and our first commission paint job. So again, thank you very much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. I really hope you enjoy the stream as much as I enjoy making them. And just have a great day. And I promise next stream will be longer than this. I wish I could stay to make up for that time we lost because of my error. But, prior engagements. So again, thank you very much.